All right, so I found this piece in The Athletic that is one lingering question for every NFL team.
And we had a lot of questions for the AFC North already.
So now we're heading down south. We're going to do this in reverse alphabetical order, saving the best for last.
Yes.
First up, the Tennessee Titans. Will L'Jarius Sneed be a factor in 2025? First-year general manager Mike Borgonzi was part of the Kansas City front office that unloaded Sneed to the Titans in 2024. A clear win over former Titans GM Rand Carthon. With the third-round pick coming back to the Chiefs, now Sneed is Borgonzi's problem, amplified by a civil suit and a potential criminal indictment stemming from an alleged shooting incident in late 2024, throwing a quad injury that limited Sneed to 5 games in 2024 on top of a knee issue that have essentially eliminated him from practice participation, and you have a highly played and hugely important defensive piece who could end up a non-factor. Could the Tennessee Titans secondary be largely deflated right out of the gate?
I think the bigger question is Cam Ward good? But this is also a valid question. The Titans' defense was salty at times last year, especially early. They had Quandre Diggs in there for a little bit, if we remember.
Devondre Sweat.
Devondre Sweat had a really good rookie year.
One of the best
front
big man rumbles we've ever seen.
Yeah, Jeffrey Simmons comes back. I mean, this defense, like you said, is salty. It's this team could be feisty in this division.
Much like the Browns, the defense was not the problem last year.
No.
I'll tell you this, though. You may pose the question of, is Cam Ward good? But I can already feel it in my bones that Cam Ward is better than Mr. Mayo in the coffee.
100%.
Well, yeah.
And Mason Rudolph.
You're going to say that about Will Levis during White Boy Summer, Sawyer?
Yeah.
Come on.
I'll say this. I'll go out on a limb here. I'm buying into it. I'm buying into the Titans. I think they might be second, not last in this division.
Yeah.
I am not buying what the Colts are putting out there. I think that's more of a mess than what Tennessee's got right now. The expectations are low. You're bringing in a lot of vets. It's kind of the land of misfit toys. I like them going and getting Tyler Lockett. That was an awesome pickup for them in the wide receiver room. Get a vet that catches a lot of footballs.
Feels like a
And I like Cam Ward. I'm following this Cam Ward train. I think you had no doubt in my mind Will Levis is probably the 40th best quarterback, and that's a generous 40. In the NFL. Numerous
40th best quarterback.
Numerous quarterbacks that are backups are better than him.
He's a mid backup.
100%. I mean, he was atrocious. Mason Rudolph, not great, but he was atrocious.
Some of the funniest turnovers you could possibly imagine.
Oh, wow.
Will Levis is terrible.
Levis.
Yeah.
He was the worst starting quarterback in the NFL.
He allowed a rookie quarterback to get a week 1 road win for the first time in I forget how many years, and statistically it was a surefire thing. The Titans were supposed to beat the Bears in week 1, and Will Levis found a way to screw it up.
Yeah, but the Bears turned out to be a really good team, Sawyer.
Oh, did they?
No, they didn't.
Exactly.
5 games, 6
Still
games?
waiting on that.
Exactly.
Still waiting on that.
All right. Next up, this is what I like to call an evergreen story. It's for when you really have nothing to dig out.
Yes.
You can always go back to this one, and it's about the Jacksonville Jaguars. Would you like to take a guess of what the question is?
Okay, repeat after me.
Is
Trevor Lawrence?
Is
Trevor Lawrence shoulder healthy?
Not
I was going
quite.
to do, is it Travis Hunter playing wide receiver?
Does he have a rotator cuff?
Well, the actual question is related to Trevor Lawrence, but it is how good can Trevor Lawrence really become? A question it feels like we've been asking since he got drafted. Yeah. The 2021 number 1 pick was peaking in the second half of 2022, but both Lawrence and the Jaguars have cratered since that historic playoff comeback victory. It has been assumed that new head coach Liam Cohen will get the best out of Lawrence, much like Cohen did last year with Baker Mayfield. But QB's success isn't as simple as the snap of a finger. If Lawrence truly does reach his potential with Cohen, he has the tools to be a top 10 quarterback. But if this pairing fails, another exciting new era in Jacksonville will lead to an organizational reset.
I think there's a lot of questions with them.
You let Christian Kirk go. You let Gabe Davis go. You brought in a guy that you have slotted in on depth chart or on, graphics as defensive back is what he's listed as.
Yeah.
Not wide receiver, defensive back. I believe Evan Ingram is gone, who was a big pass catcher.
He is.
So,
he's gone to the Broncos, I believe.
Yeah, he is. That's not a bad signing, by the way.
I mean, I would say you literally just have Brian Thomas
who's
back.
very good.
Yeah.
I like Brian Thomas a lot. He had a great season last year.
Travis Etienne was a massive regression at the running back position. A lot of people believe Tank Bigsby is the better running back there, and that feels like that isn't even saying a lot.
Yeah, I think the Jags aren't going to be great. I think their offense might be somewhat dynamic because I don't think Trevor Lawrence is a bad quarterback. I haven't seen him take that next step, and I don't know if they did enough to push them that next step. How much is Travis Hunter going to play wide receiver is my question. Brian Thomas Jr. is a fantastic receiver.
What can he do in
But
year
what
two?
else can he do? I mean, we kind of saw everything he can do last year. He had a great year. I'd say A+ year.
Absolutely.
How much better can this team get? Because this offseason, you got Travis Hunter, and I like the pickup. I do. I don't love them trade their next year's first-round pick for that, right? Because how good is this team going to be in this division? What's the potential of this team? Is it 9 wins is the ceiling? What are you putting their ceiling at, and what are you putting their floor at?
Well, I mean, I think the floor is what we just saw. I think they could be as bad as a 5-win team.
Potential number one pick.
Yeah, towards the top. I mean, they were, picking fifth? And then they traded up?
They traded up, yeah.
So I think that they could be in that, 5-win range. I think 9 is about as good as it could get. I mean, it's hard to turn around that fast. I know Trevor Lawrence missed like half the season, but that I feel like you also have to factor that in because Trevor Lawrence tends to miss a lot of time.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah,
and when he's played, he hasn't exactly. I mean, when you're coming into college and people are like Peyton Manning, the expectations are going to be higher on you than it would be for Dylan Gabriel or somebody else.
That whole quarterback draft class is starting to look pretty stinky. It would be Trevor to was Herbert that year? No, it wasn't Herbert that year. But that's
Fields.
Yeah. Oh, golly.
Yeah, it was Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, then Justin Fields, then Mac Jones. Then
who's on that team?
Yeah, Mac Jones is is he still there?
No.
Yeah, he went to the Niners. They signed Nick Mullins to be the backup quarterback this offseason.
Down in Jacksonville. All right, next up we got the Indianapolis Colts. And their big question, of course, about the quarterback room.
Yeah.
When will Anthony Richardson return? This is what I like about these. We're getting a lot of beat writers giving us stories that we didn't know about these Colts. Richardson was shut down May 29th after experiencing pain in his throwing shoulder during OTAs. Coach Shane Steichen said Richardson aggravated his AC joint, which is concerning when considering Richardson previously underwent season-ending AC joint surgery in October of 2023 of his rookie season. There is no timeline for Richardson's return, per Steichen. After Richardson missed several days this spring, he'll continue to lose ground in the QB competition. Ugh. If he is to be sidelined to start training camp. For now, Daniel Jones, who started 69 games for the Giants, nice, is poised to be Indy's Week 1 starter.
Is this a year where if you're Indianapolis, say, you know what, screw it, let's just kind of throw out Richardson when he can play, try out Riley Leonard, whatever, and legitimately, I don't want to say tank, but where is this team going? I like what they did in the draft. You draft JTT in the second round. That's a good defensive pickup. Yeah. You go get, obviously, Tyler Warren, which I like him a lot at 14. Great value out of Penn State. You get another corner out of Minnesota who's pretty solid. I mean, you have Jonathan Taylor there still. Their O-line is not what it used to be. Their wide receiver room is still I like A.D. Mitchell, sure, and Pittman's all right, but I don't really see what the vision is here. Danny Dimes is going to be your quarterback, most likely. Mm-hmm. You swung and missed on Anthony Richardson. Yeah. I'm not going to even entertain the thought because the fact in camp they're saying that Danny Dimes is winning the camp right now, and obviously we're dealing with this lingering injury. That scares me if I'm a Colts fan.
Oh, yeah, and it should.
This should be you know what, maybe we kind of just aren't very good this year. And Garrett Nussmeier's our quarterback. They just feel like a team that needs their Andrew Luck, their Peyton Manning. I'm not saying just to go and tank, but this is a bad team. I don't know. Their defense they have a good defensive line.
And here, I'll tell you, do you know?
DeForest Buckner's still there, and he still makes plays happen. Like, they have a team that could win you, again, kind of like Jacksonville, 9 games. But
everyone thinks about
if we go back to the end of the 2022 season, which 2023. 2023 season where it's C.J. Stroud, Trevor Lawrence, and Gardner Minshew all jockeying for
who's going to win the division
AFC title, and then Trevor Lawrence on a bad shoulder goes out and loses a win and in game to Tennessee, who is terrible, and then the Texans obviously beat the Colts. So I mean the Colts are at least as close to Jacksonville and Houston a year ago, and then we saw Jacksonville tail all the way off. Same thing with Indianapolis, and it's can they bounce back in this season? Because I mean Trevor Lawrence last year he only played 10 games and he was 2-8. I mean this division other than Houston, it feels
it's terrible.
And even Houston, who feels awesome about Houston?
I feel better about Houston, though.
No, of course. I mean, they are the clear front runner. But I don't
even
think
when I say better about Houston, I mean not just comparing the Colts and everybody in this division. I think they made good offseason moves.
Yeah.
O-line is still a huge question mark, but their defense is top 5, no doubt about it.
I'll tell you.
Their secondary might be the best.
Who?
Houston.
Secondary? Yes. Well, here's the deal is y'all can sell all your Colts stock you want. This might be, stock Colt syndrome from being a child and loving Peyton Manning.
T.Y. Hilton.
He used to destroy the Texans.
But they don't have a T.Y. Hilton right now.
Yeah, they do. They have a guy with some initials that's pretty good. Had a quarterback that couldn't hit him in the hands, and I think Danny Dimes can.
A.D. Mitchell?
A.D. Mitchell.
I like A.D. Mitchell. He's not T.Y. Hilton. I'll just say that straight up. I don't care saying that here in Austin.
Well,
he's not.
I don't think that we know yet.
That's fair. That's a fair point.
The moves that they made in the secondary for this Colts team is something to keep an eye on. They signed Travarius Ward from the 49ers. They brought in Cameron Bynum, the safety from the Minnesota Vikings, and they signed Corey Ballantyne, the cornerback from the Packers. So they are looking to know that they're going to have to stop the pass. You've got Jonathan Taylor coming into the season not having any offseason issues with contracts, things of that nature. He's showing up. He's ready to play. You have an offensive line that is stable. And, I mean, it's a different division. It's not that different of a division in terms of quality of pay. Danny Dimes you got into the playoffs with the Giants with Saquon Barkley, and this is a watered-down version of that Giants team. Better at some positions, worse at the running back, but not saying a lot.
Yeah.
In a division that sucks.
It does suck, and I think they're going to get about 7 wins because it sucks. They won 8 games last year. I think they're about the same as that this year, and that's why I'm being very low on them. It's just I don't know what the future is for them when it comes to the quarterback positions. Danny Dimes is not going to be the answer to beat Houston to this division.
No.
So that's kind of the way I look at this, and I don't think you're going to have a good enough record to even get in the playoffs with how strong the AFC West is, with the second-place team in the AFC North, with probably the second-place team in the AFC East. Like, that's how I look at this. From a playoff perspective, is the Indianapolis Colts roster as bad as Jacksonville's or even the Tennessee Titans at the moment? No. But I at least have kind of there's a trajectory for the Titans to get better. Obviously, they had the number 1 overall pick and a quarterback, and that's going to help. And Jacksonville, they're coming in with a new offensive mind. I don't hate on Shane Steichen. This isn't his fault, but I just don't know what the Colts are.
Absolutely.
That's my thing here.
Fair enough.
Let's get to your Texans.
Yes, the best for last. This one is also a very, very obvious question. Will a retooled offensive line protect C.J. Stroud better? After surrendering a combined 90 sacks in C.J. Stroud's first 2 NFL seasons, the Texans underwent an offensive line overhaul, trading away Laramie Tunsil and acquiring veteran left tackle Cam Robinson, left guard Laken Tomlinson, center Jake Andrews, and drafting rookie tackle Arioton Irsay. And the Texans coaches are still doing some tinkering. Irsay saw time at both tackle positions during the offseason practices. And with new offensive coordinator Nick Caley learning on the go, it could take some time for this line to fully gel. What this also doesn't mention, new offensive line coach. The hope is that a retool leads to another AFC South title and a deep playoff run after 2 divisional round exits. I do believe that this is the correct question. This has been the biggest issue for C.J. Stroud in his first 2 seasons. It was much, much worse last year, and I have more faith in this offensive line than I did last year's offensive line. I like Cam Robinson at the left tackle position. There's a reason that Minnesota went out and got him after their left tackle went down.
I mean, I think it'll get better as the season goes on. I'm concerned initially just because of how fresh they are. I do like the fact that you made changes that were needed this year. They're not getting complacent in a bad division, referring to the Houston Texans. You go 10-7 this year again, you're going to win the division in my eyes. Hell, I think this is the division where you can win 9 games, you're for sure going to win the division. And that's not saying much. What the Texans need to do is elevate themselves into the three-headed monster, as we call it. That is the Bills, the Ravens, and the Chiefs. That has been the top of the AFC we've seen for the past few seasons. There's a few teams you can throw in there that could be in the top as well. The Chargers are a team that's looking to emerge. The Broncos had a good year. How good will the Bengals be with that offense returning? It's just the defense is a question. There's other teams in the mix here. Young teams like the Patriots. Are you hot on them? Like I said, the Bills. This is the year for the Texans to go out, dominate the division, and try to not be the 4 seed. Am I wrong?
Absolutely.
Now, the O-line has questions, no doubt about it. But it can get better as the season goes on if they stay healthy. I love the receivers that they go and get. They give more options. I love the fact you go and give them kicking the tires on
Cam Rose.
Nick Chubb. I think that's huge at the RB2 position. So I'll let you guys talk about your Texans here.
Well,
a little concerned about the O-line at first, but I think you got to go try something different.
And hot out of the gates, they're going to be tested immediately because week 1, they played the Rams, who had 2 potential Rookie of the Years on that defensive line. The next week, they host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Vita Vea is no walk in the park.
No, he's not.
You get the Jags, then you have to face that front 7 of the Tennessee Titans, and then it's the Ravens. I mean, that is a tough first 5 games for this offensive line to be tested.
Yeah, I just think, with Houston, I know it's boring, but I think that they're going to be 10-7, 11-6. They're going to be 4th. They might win a playoff game, and then they're going to get smoked by the 1 seed.
Wow.
Spoken like a true Texan.
Seriously, do we...
Well, I do think that they can... I think the 1 seed this year is going to still be between the 3 teams that I mentioned. If I had to pick one, I think Buffalo is, just because of what the division outlook is like. But if the Texans can get you 12 wins, you could be a 2 or 3 seed. I truly believe that. I think the Buffalo Bills are going to win 14 games this year, or something along those lines. I'm taking the over in their win total for sure. I just think they're at that point, and that's where the division is. Miami got worse. The Jets are going to suck. And the Patriots, I'm not buying all the stock. They're going to be that good right away. Love Vrabel.
Yeah.
Could be a playoff team, but what?
Some of the over-unders
wins?
are like 8.5, 9.5. That's a bit much.
That's a lot. That's a lot to ask. Not to say it can't happen. He could have an impact, kind of like Dan Campbell when he came to the Lions. Year 2, this is year 1 for Vrabel, but I think he can have the jump. Year 2, and I really like Drake May. They went from 3 wins to 9 wins. That's about where I see it. The Bills are going to win a lot of football games, so I have them at probably my 1. Baltimore just wins in the regular season. You're right. Can a team like the Chiefs maybe not win 15 games? They're winning 11 games, right? And the Chargers could technically get that division. Or if you like the Broncos, I'm not buying all the stock in the division. I'm just saying I think that's the Texans' year. You're right. They might be 10-7, be a 4 seed. But if they get to 12 wins this year and you're sitting at a 2 or 3 seed, that's a whole different outcome, especially if you're 2 and you're hosting another home game. I think that's where things change up a little bit. I think that's doable. I'm not saying they're in that upper echelon yet, but they're the next team up. Am I wrong about that? They're the 4th team in the AFC in my eyes.
Yeah. I think they are exactly 4th place. I think that's who they are.
They could be higher.
I think that
you got to break into that.
I'm not picking that though. Is my thought. I don't know.
Sure.
It's tough sledding for them, but the fact is, I believe if this offense gets clicking the way it should, and we see what the defense is, they could give 1 through 3 a run for their money in a playoff game.
Yeah. Well, I think for seeding, there's going to be some cannibalization for sure in the AFC West because everybody's gotten better in that division. Other than I think the Chiefs, if you had to say one team that hasn't.
Which treading water is still, hey, you played for a Super Bowl.
And you won 15 games. Exactly. So I say all that. They're still the odds for a reason there in Kansas City. But, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think the Texans have a grip on the division for sure. If you had to pick a team to get second, what are you guys going with? Titans, Jags, Colts. Still going Colts?
Give me Colts.
I would go Jaguars.
Okay. I might go Titans. I don't know why. I'm kind of buying in this. I don't know what they are, but I think Cam Ward's going to be a good quarterback.